Gossip Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. So today I'm with Amanda Murray and Grant Morrell. How are you guys?
Oh, I'm pretty good. Thank you. I'm pretty good. And yourself, Amanda?
It's been a busy start up to school. So when our topic matches how I'm feeling. So
Do you have to scream sometimes at the kids when they don't listen to you? Amanda, can you hear me?
yeah, I don't raise my voice very often, but when I do, they're like
Okay.
usually I just sit quietly in and then they're like, she's waiting, the teacher's waiting. I'll just sit there and I'll just like
But
cross my
I
arms and
don't
be
I
like,
don't
"You're
raise
wasting
my
your
voice
own
very
time."
often too. But when I raise, my daughter goes, just calm down, mommy. Chill out.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the topic today is when you feel drained, choosing to rise.
well,
We've all been there. Those moments when life it feels so heavy that even getting out of bed it feels like a battle. When your energy is gone, your hope is dim, and you wonder if it's worth trying again. But what if I told you that those very moments, the ones where you feel completely drained, can also be turning points of your life. So today we're going to talk about how to choose to rise even when your strength feels like it's fading. Because rising isn't about never falling, it's about refusing to stay down. So what do you think about the topic, guys? Grant?
I like the topic. I like it because, again, it's a topic that everybody faces from some point in their life. Some people could be facing it right now, listening to this and say, yeah, that's ideal for me. Um, and most people are underprepared for it. You know, when it happens, they don't know. So the idea is for us to give you a few simple tools of how to deal with it, I think is a lovely, lovely subject. That's what I think. And what inspired the subject is what I want to know.
What inspired my subject is I was carrying my graduation things. They've arrived today. Some of them I'm going to meet them next week. So then I just said to myself, because I finished my degree 2021, but they've never issued my degree. They refused. The woman failed me. The person that was marking the thing failed me. I said no. I passed my exams, so I'm just gonna keep fighting and keep asking somebody to go and say I knew I got like 80% or 90% because of the time that I put. But because I was going through human blood sacrifices, so everything was being taken away from me. But in the end, they decided to offer me my degree this year. And so I was carrying this box, and I was like, when you feel drained. So there were times where I felt drained, but I kept writing letters. Every morning, I'll get up in the morning, I'll just write, and they'll ignore my emails. Some they would acknowledge them, and they'll refuse to put me through to the person that I'm supposed to talk to. And I would just keep writing, and the department of university that support student were like, "Don't give up." They'll write the letters on my behalf as well. Just one day I woke up in the morning, they were like, responded to put me through to the qualification department. And qualification department, they were like, yeah, here's your degree. So, but if I had given up, I would have repeated my module. I would have even gave up everything and just said, you know what? But I didn't.
You persisted, right? You persisted and you got
Yeah.
it. And the funny thing, isn't it, about when you persist and go through things, it's, you know, it's tough at the time. And it is, yeah, some things are tough. I get that. They really are. and later you forget it. You
Yeah.
don't remember it later. I mean, you remember a bit of it, but you don't remember like the anguish, the pain, and that sort of stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, it was a bit of a tough time, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. Anyway, glad it's done now. And if you reminded yourself of that more at the beginning, it would be easier. And of course, when things are just dumped, a large volume of stuff dumped on your desk, so to speak, it is tough. But sometimes we can plan things out a little bit better, and we can chunk them down. I was reading about this before. I just wrote an article for something, and about chunking things down into smaller pieces. It makes life so much easier to help avoid being drained. Because when you're drained, it's like the damage is done because you are drained. We explored today how you can recharge it, but it's smarter to kind of avoid being drained, isn't it? And to Amanda, this must come into your life work, teaching kids to prepare for stuff all day. You must be brilliant at this, I would think.
Well, I always think like summer is like you have to recharge, right? Because it's just like go, 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 go. And then like when you come in September, it's like a freight train of work. And so it's like there's so much work to do in September. And then it's like September to December, I just feel is like there's always something, always something, always something, always something. And then after December, it's like January hits and the kids start to like know your routine. They're really good at like they've already improved so much. So you've like really got a good handle on what they're doing and how they're doing. And it just like January till May like zooms by. And then June hits and it's like that freight train again of like we got to get everything done before the kids leave. There's so much work to do. It's like everybody's stressed, everybody's like running on like empty, but still like choosing to get up and show up for the kids every single day. And then it's like you have that 2 months off to like really recharge because it's necessarily like otherwise you just collapse. But I do think that it's important like when you are feeling drained to really like take some time to pause and to like be like, is this work necessary? Do I have to do all of these things or can I like do 5 of them and save the other 5 for like the weekend or maybe later, or like, can I have a nap? Can I go to the gym? Can I make sure that I'm taking care of me so that I can choose to get up and not feel completely drained and tired and just completely exhausted with how much I have to do and get done in life in general. And then I'm listening to people yesterday actually, and my one teacher friend has like 3 kids. And so she's like, okay, Saturday is like this person has to get to hockey at this time, this person has to get to hockey at this time. We're going to 3 different arenas. We're doing this. And I'm just like, I feel drained just listening to her. Because I'm like, I just have 1 kid. And like I'm a single mom, but like she's not that busy, right? Like, whereas when you have 3 kids or you have like multiple kids and you're single, it's a lot more difficult because sometimes the kids have 2 different places to go at the exact same time. And it's like when you're feeling drained because you're trying to take care of the house, take care of all the things at work, make sure you have groceries in the house, make sure your kids are fed, like it just ends up being exhausting. And so sometimes I think what we need to do is really like pick things that are going to help us rise. And some of that is like making sure we're eating healthy, making sure we're going to like have a routine so that we're going to bed at a decent time. Making sure that you're setting aside some time to just like completely unwind so that like I get my best ideas when I'm at the gyms for work. And if I sat there and was like, okay, I need to make sure that I plan everything for the week at work, I wouldn't be as efficient. But I am very efficient because I think I know the things that I have to do, and then ideas of what it is that I want to do or that are more creative come up for me when I'm like not sitting at my desk. And so I think sometimes it's just like finding the best way for you to navigate what your strengths are and how you work best. What do you think, Grant?
I think you're right. I mean, like you said, working fast, and that's the best way to do it. How do you work fast? How do you work most efficiently? What's the right way for you? And there's not one size fits all. It's something in the retreats that we go through, and we get people to systemize their whole week. And with that, then you can systemize your month and your year, but you look at it and you find what's best for you. And, some people do love doing important tasks first thing in the morning. Not for me, thank you very much. Not for me. Don't work for me. I could do it, but then I'll be exhausted by the afternoon. I'll just be wiped out. It's not how the cognitive load works for me. But I perfectly respect the fact that works for other people, and that's your workflow, but you're getting to know it. And that's how I look at, that's how I kind of help avoid being drained. There's certain things I need to, and I'll be honest, at certain times of the day, I can't think of examples. It was like you guys understand, I'm not a guy who wants paragraphs and paragraphs of writing. I'm a bullet point sort of person, big picture person. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. It's just how I am. And it was like done a whole day's work. It was late at night, and somebody sent me like about 5 paragraphs of stuff. I know my answer. That's like, great. Can you give me the 20-word version of what you just sent me? My brain's done. I'm not going to read that. I don't even know it's worth my time reading. What on earth was it? And the person laughed and came back and said, "Oh, actually, here's the short version." And it was just a PDF or something. I'm like, yeah, brilliant. Thanks. Fantastic. That was it. Um, and that's how I avoid being drained, because reading paragraphs and paragraphs of writing, like, there you go. I've got a couple of manifestos to read, government manifestos and things, just for charity work I do. And they're long, they're quite boring, they're dry reading, not my thing. But I do need to read it. I do want to give my opinion. So I've got 2 of them to read. I mean, they're not extraordinarily long, actually, these ones. But what I've done, I've kind of done them around a certain day. That day I'm going to do that. And after that, I'm going to do something light. Heavy, light, heavy, light. Next one will be a couple of days later, heavy, light. I can't sit there and do them all together. I just really can't. It's too much. But some people would love to do them all together, get them out of the way. And that's perfectly fine. It's knowing your workflow, how you do it, and that's how I avoid feeling drained. But of course, there's another aspect to what we're talking about today, isn't there? There's another aspect. We're talking about that's how you can avoid it with your workflow. And you can't always manage your workflow. Sometimes things just land on your desk, got to be done now, and you didn't want to. But by and large, if you can manage it, it's going to help reduce being drained. But the other point, I'm not sure if Nonsa wants to introduce that, is about how you choose to reframe it in your mind and look at it differently. Nonsa, do you want to add anything before we move on to that part?
How do you reframe it? I think first you have to acknowledge, like if you're drained, or just acknowledge it without feeling shame, because sometimes when we admit to ourselves that we feel drained, it means we're acknowledging the situation, what is going on. And then sometimes some people may try to push themselves, pretending it doesn't exist, it doesn't help. So you are allowed to say, I'm tired. You are allowed to say, I mean it. I'm tired and I mean it. No need for me to perform strength when what you need is rest. So then you have to your mindset, because we have deadlines. Everything has deadlines. So the most important thing first, you have to turn off the noise. If your brain feels loud, it might be because you are surrounded by so much noise, TV, social media. Get off completely on social media, even if music feels overstimulating. Let yourself sit in silent for a bit. It's comfortable at first, it's uncomfortable at first, but silence gives space for clarity. And then your mind has to let go of the should, the nagging inner voice that says you should be doing more, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, you should be feeling better or acting stronger. You don't have to listen to it. Should is a trap. You are allowed to exist exactly as you are. Progress starts with self-acceptance and not self-pressure. So you have to acknowledge what is going on, and then you just take your time and spend time and have a rest. Uh, I work within my company, but when I have to take some time off, I take some time off. If I feel drained, if I feel that today I'm switching off, I'm switching off. And I don't feel good about it. I know tomorrow is going to be there. Because when I work. Sometimes I always make sure that I finish all the tasks. I don't leave things unfinished. But if I feel like my body is now telling me to rest, I don't feel good about it. I just sit down and I will rest. And I think that is important. Like Amanda, being a teacher, my dad was a teacher. Being a teacher is exhausting because constantly the parents are handing over these children. And if you are a caring teacher, they are like your children. You get to know them character by character. You get to help them one by one. I used to see my dad, and that drains. And then sometimes when it's half term, you just have to switch off completely. But some people do feel guilty about switching off. They think, oh, they're being lazy or whatever they're doing. But I've learned that the hard way that sometimes I have to have my me time.
You do, and I think that's a great thing. You do need to switch off, and you need to recharge the battery. It's as simple as that. And I think, you know, when you're faced with overwhelm, when you're just feeling drained, and this happens a lot. I think in the line of coaching, what I come across is that when people do get tired, if they haven't chunked it down, or if maybe something else is happening outside of the business that they haven't managed, it's not something that they can control. They can control and systemize and organize the business, but like a parent becomes ill, boom, just they couldn't manage that. They have no control over it. It's just happened, and they feel drained. You can choose to rise. Now, I remember this concept first came to years ago when I had a girlfriend and the relationship was going wrong. And I can't remember that. It was a really long time ago. It was going wrong. And it was something about blah, 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 blah. And the inference was that I wasn't really being a great boyfriend. And to be honest, I probably wasn't back in the day. I probably wasn't. I was great in some ways and not in others. And I managed to reframe it in my mind. And I looked at it, I thought, well, why don't I learn how to be a fantastic boyfriend? Why don't I be that, really brilliant so that, she'll really like me because I'll just be so great. I mean, it's got to be genuine, obviously, but I looked at it that way and that thought re-inspired me and re-energized me. Now, that's an example of something unrelated, but if you took that and took that sense of curiosity, that sense of adventures, that sense of opportunity, and use that, it occurs to me that could be a great way that allows you to choose to rise. What do you think? Crazy, unachievable, weird, good, worthwhile? Ever experienced it? What do you think? What do you think? Nonsense, just laughing. She just shoulders again. What do you think? What do you think?
I just love it, Grant, because it's not everybody thinks the way you thought.
No, they don't.
No, no man will be like, how can I be a good? They will be wanting to prove a point that no, the girl is wrong, but you were willing to, you know what? I'm going to change things around. There's a guy in the office as well, but he's just left. He's gone to Spain now. He's moved to Spain with his girlfriend. And you're saying the same thing you're saying. You said, my girlfriend always says I'm rubbish for arranging things. But guess what, Nonsa? This time I am going to sweep her off because I've made some arrangements and we're going to Como and we're going to have fun. I've arranged everything. Normally, I don't do things like that. So yeah, when they went, they had fun. There's so much fun. So I like the way you say, like, shifting your mind and really wanting to make some changes in your life. What do you think, Amanda?
I think when Grant was talking about like asking himself, like, am I being a good partner? That's really like you allowing yourself to like set your ego aside, right?
Yeah,
And when we are feeling drained, sometimes people like just push through because their ego's like, no, I need to get this done. I'm going to pick, like, I'm going to make sure and I'm going to plow through no matter how exhausted I am. And in the end, that's your ego pushing you, right? It's your ego pushing you to be like, I can achieve this no matter what. Whereas if you like sit in like your like divine space of what you actually are capable of achieving in that moment and in the energy that you have, you might actually rise quicker if you take that pause. And if your ego is pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and you're completely drained, then that's really your body and your mind saying to you, like, something here isn't working, right? Something here isn't working, but our like egos are like pushing us through no matter what. And we need to maybe like take a step back and be like, is it my ego that's pushing me and then causing me to feel so drained because I feel that I need to achieve this and get this done in this given amount of time? Or can I say take a step back, recharge, and I'll actually be able to rise quicker? And I know Grant spoke about something similar to this on different podcasts where he's talked about like people who are really successful in business, and yet one of the suggestions that he's given to them is to like go for a walk in nature on the weekend
Yeah.
because then you recharge, you come back to work feeling better. You didn't just work all weekend because you're like, I got to get all this done. And it's my ego that's like being like, I'm a workaholic and that's who I identify as, and like, that's my whole persona. Grant's suggestion to people like that is to like, no, you need to take a break. You need to go out in nature. And that actually in turn trickles down into the business and actually makes the business more successful, which you think is counterintuitive, like counterproductive. You think that people who work all the time are actually going to be more productive and rise quicker. But when you actually take that time to pause and to take care of the things that you really need for yourself, then everything like flows together easier. And I know that Grant's talking about that out on a different podcast that we've been on. Maybe you can add to that, Grant, on how you've navigated that with some of your clients.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a great point you bring it up, Amanda, because I do it all the time. I mean, the funniest answer I had from someone walking nature was one said, I'm in Dubai. Yeah, he said, like, it's just saying that he's so hot. Like, I can't, I said, no, no, no. But is there something, and he did say, we found an answer. There was like a little private garden where you can go out for 5 minutes. I said, just do that a few times a day. You know, and you can always find a bit of nature. Somebody actually asked me, can I watch a YouTube video of nature? I'm like, no. No, you can't do that. You can't smell nature. You go. Yeah, just YouTube it, right? I just like put a screensaver. Yeah, that's good. You can do that, but that's not the answer. You know, you got to go and do it. I mean, and I understand geographically, if the sand's boiling hot, you're not going to walk barefooted. I know, I've experienced it. I get it, but you find a way around it. You might be able to do something if you are in most parts of the world where you can ground yourself by taking off your shoes and socks and just walking on the grass and just feeling the ground. That's it. The classic tree huggers. There's whole science behind tree hugging. I've never really done it. I'm not the best person to ask about it, but certain people, they love hugging trees. They're living things. They can feel them, you know. Fine. Fine. If that works for you, do it, you know. But you should ground yourself. You've got to have that balance, especially if you're a city person. I'm a town guy. I'm not a country guy. I'm a town guy. I'm a city guy. I like it, but I do still respect the country, and I still like it. I like to go away when I get to the country. I go. Oh. And my friend said, you're different within an hour when you do it. Really? Oh, yeah. But I'll be fall asleep. Just sit down and fall asleep. Just, just it's just you need that balance. You know, we are natural human beings, even though we're city dwellers, most of us, you know, we still have a hankering for nature. Why? Because it's deep in our roots. It's deep in our brain. It's where we came from. You have to do it. Some people could live in. I mean, I was speaking to a friend the other day, and there's a place way, way, way north of Scotland called the Shetland Islands. Not sure you've heard of it. Very, very bleak. My good friend said, "Oh, I'd love to go there. Oh, I might retire there." And I said, "Are you serious?" "Oh, I'd love to." I said, "But what do you like about it?" And they said, "Oh, yeah, the fact that it's just so isolated." And I'm like, "Oh, it just sends shivers down my spine. I hate that." Within like 7 minutes, I get lonely. You would, you know. Breathtaking scenery. Absolutely, I get that. Really is breath. But I need humans. I need humans. I really do. There's some humans I could do with not being around. I guess but mostly I like human power. I'm human powered. I really am. Again, doesn't make me right. Doesn't make me wrong. It's just how I am. So I like a reflection of that. You know, I'm a city guy. I like being around, but what am I doing now? We want a talk show, right? Boom. Yeah, goes to tell you, that's what I like. People, I like interaction. But equally, I do like to get away, get in the car, and just go somewhere in the country. Like, oh yeah, I need this to restore the balance. And I think it is exactly that what it does. It helps you to recharge. It helps you to reflect. Helps you to get things in perspective, and it helps you to rise. That's what I think. It's deep in our psyche. It's in our history. It's in our DNA. Nobsa, where do you like to get away to relax?
I I like water. I like the sea. I like to relax, like walk along the seaside, and I like the nature as well. I'm not a city person, but I'm a town person and a country person. I like a countryside. So if I'm at home, I can go to the village, I'll be okay. I can fit in, I'll be okay. But when I'm in the village, I don't like to eat city food because what's the point of me being there? So I like to have a barbecue, nice food and stuff. And then I like going for walks, like running, like where I live in Henley. She really loves to come here for a walk. It's like hills of walking. If you don't do exercise where I live, you feel ashamed, honestly, because you will see like 90, 70-year-old, how fit they are and they're doing exercises. So yeah, I love the sea. Yeah, I just love walking along the sea and just feeling that breathe. But it has to be the one with the nice clean water. I don't like this seas with the cheating, dirty water. I just like that breeze, just walking. And here, just go along the river. I run along the river. That's good. It's beautiful. I like beautiful, calm places. I don't mind like because people like where I left in Essex and I came here, my friend got confused. They were like, "No, say Essex is cheaper than where you are." I was like, "You don't understand. It's not because it's expensive. I just like quiet places, like a Grant. But I wouldn't live where there is no one. I like people as well." But I truly, truly like quiet places. So if you're that person and you feel drained and stuff, we just find the things that make you happy and do them. I know some people always say like doing things and taking off because if you're working for yourself, if you don't work, you don't make money. So some people that's what they don't like about it, that if I don't work today, I'm not going to make money. For me, I speak to Gary, I say, Gary, I cannot drain myself. And I know he will always provide anyway. I'm that person that I annoy so many people. because I always tell myself God provide, and He always does. So I'm like, I'm taking a day off, God, I'm taking a day for the right reasons, but you will provide for me. That day that I've missed, you provide. He always does that because He knows I put Him first. So for you guys, I don't know what makes you be the person that you are, but nourish without judgment. Like, eat food, you can eat something that feels good to you, whether it's a salad, whether like piece of toast or butter. When you are depleted, your body needs fuel. Don't overthink things. Like right now, you're thinking to eat it. Just choose something kind and be kind to yourself. Be warm to yourself. Go easy. Food is care. Like Grant said, go for a walk, and Amanda said, go for a walk. Don't feel guilty. Just enjoy it. Enjoy in those moments. For me, I've learned to enjoy what I'm doing. I just enjoy that present moment. If I'm in the quiet place, if I'm in the talk show, I'm in the talk show. If I'm doing something, I'm doing something. People wonder, how do you do all these things, Nomsa? I do them because I allow myself not to stress. I divorced stress during lockdown. Me and stress were divorced. We done, guys. During lockdown, we got done, we got separated. So try not to stress, number one, because I know my today, I'm not going to have it tomorrow. And what else do I do? Gratitude, power of gratitude. Yeah. And I use gratitude a lot, even when life does not make sense in my life. I find something to smile. That giving a smile is my life. That God chose to give me that breathing one day. We were talking to Grant before we came live. His sister died a year ago.
Oh.
And I was like, it does not feel like it was a year ago.
No,
It
no.
feels like it was yesterday. But that's what it is. So time, guys, is precious. What do you think, guys, when people drain themselves and they don't acknowledge that about their time and being here on earth?
I think a lot of it is our ability for time management. And when you like are setting aside specific amounts of time to do your task, but also not getting distracted by other things. And I know for myself, people are like, how do you get all of your work done in the like limited amount of time that you spend like at the school? And I'm like, well, I have to be really organized because I'm a single mom. I have to drop my daughter off at school, and then I come to work. I'm at work about 15 minutes early, and then I leave about 10 minutes after the kids so I can pick my daughter up from the bus. And I have to be really, really organized in the time that I have at school. And then I go to the gym, and then I come home, and then any extra work that I have to get done gets done after I have dinner and have time to like unwind, right? But usually in that time where I take off, anything that I'm like thinking about from work, I usually have like figured out in my head while I'm at the gym of like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. I just need to look up these couple of things. But then I find people like at my work, they like stand in the hallway and chat forever, or at lunchtime, they're like not like like they're just chatting, or they're just not using their time efficiently. And so when I look at things, I'm like, are you being efficient with your time? Are you spending a whole bunch of time like scrolling on Instagram when you have a break, when you really should be like, okay, let's get these things done so that I'm not feeling overwhelmed by them later.
Yeah.
And I think that's like so many people are like, leave things till the last minute, and then they're like panicking that it's not done, and then they're stressed, and then they feel drained, and then they feel exhausted, and that's when they start to spiral and feel anxiety because they were misusing their time up into that point of like the last minute. Right? And I don't know if you guys find that with people that you work with, but I know people that I work with, I'm like, they start stressing a whole bunch about report cards when it's report card time. And I'm like, I make notes as I write, as I mark things, so that when it's time for report cards, I already have it done essentially. My jot notes are already there. I'm not going and rewriting, like redoing the whole thing. I'm just spending a little bit more time when I'm doing my marking so that I don't have to spend time going back and looking at all my marking from before. I just made the comment as I made the mark so that it's direct in my mind, and I know that I have the right kid. And I know that it's not, I'm not confusing in my mind, like, oh, who did which project? Because as I'm marking it, I'm writing the report card comment. And I find that a really efficient way to do it, but it takes a little bit more time on the front end rather than the back end. And it's just all that being efficient with my time, because I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time at report card time going back through all of their projects and being like, oh yeah, I could make a comment on this, even though I already marked it. So I just like spend that extra 2 minutes doing it while I'm marking it the first time, so I don't have to go back through everything later on, and it would take me a whole bunch more time later.
Gotcha.
And so I think that's something that we should think about, is like, how can we like maybe take a little bit more time at the start so that our ending things are not as difficult. And I know for like even my daughter, one of the things that we used to struggle with was like her being ready in the mornings. And so one of the things that we did was we pick out our outfits, her outfit before the night before. So that when we get up in the morning, and mornings are really difficult and they're hard to get out the door in the morning. If you already have your outfit picked out and you know what the weather's going to be, then it's like just makes it like that step easier, but you had to like be more prepared the night before. Our lunches are prepared the night before because the
Right.
mornings can be chaos,
Right.
especially if you don't have a very good sleep. Um, like I didn't last night. My cat woke me up at like 2:30 in the morning.
Mm.
So, and then I got up at 5:30. So it's like, these are the things that we can do to set ourselves up for more success, right? By like doing that little bit of more prep ahead of time to just make the time that you're actually having to do the activity more efficient.
That's great. I love that. And it is preparation, a lot of it, I think.
Mhm.
And you know, and that's it. I think preparation and realizing why you're doing something.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it in the first place? We shouldn't be doing things in life unless we really know why we're doing it. I've actually been doing a lot of examination recently of things. I've had some stuff that I do, and I'm thinking, when it starts to cause you stress or problems or drains your energy, I had to do my SWOT analysis on it, you know, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, why the hell am I doing this?
Mhm.
Do I need to do this? No, not at all. No, absolutely don't need to do it. Do I like to do this? You know, what does it give me? How would I feel without? And when I do it, it tells me if I should carry on with something. And then I just dive deeper into my purpose of doing it. Oh, okay, I do it for that reason. But if it doesn't add up, and the thing I was looking at didn't stack up, it came to the point when I had to, evaluate places and things in my life. And I'm going to be doing that at Christmas. There's a few things I'm going to be saying goodbye to if they don't stack up between now and Christmas. And it's not because I hate them or dislike the people involved. Not at all. Not at all. It's just because time and space in your life. You know, it's like, is that deserving the space in my life? And it hasn't got to be nasty. It's just that no, if it doesn't, it's time to do something else and repurpose that life, reinvest that time into something else. As simple as that. And the thing I looked at really didn't stack up at all. And I was like, oh, that stacks up worse than I actually thought. And I perhaps, had it not caused me a little bit of hassle, I wouldn't have even evaluated it. But because it caused me hassle, it forced me to say, right, let's just take a logical view at this, shall I? Let's just take a logical view, not emotional. Let's take a logical view and just see the strengths of it, the weaknesses, the opportunities, the threats. How much time is it taking? What does it give me? And I went, oh, less than I actually thought. So that thing is going to start to I'm going to start saying goodbye to that already. Um, And that's the answer. And then again, equally sometimes you'll do that evaluation and you'll say, oh, actually, it does give me quite. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that actually gives me that, and I didn't realize. I appreciate it more. And that hassle that it was causing me, draining me. How could I do something about that? Is there, especially if it's a project you're managing, for example, let's say it was a project, it might be a relationship, it could be anything. If it was a project, you think, well, if it is, who could I get to help me with that? The whole delegation thing. In this example, what I'm talking about, I do have people helping me already. There's just certain people in it who are very, very ungracious about it. And I'm thinking, I don't need to spend my life around people like that. Simple as that. I just, that's why I work for myself. If I don't like someone, I'll say, see ya. I just can't. And it's beautiful. Not going to spend a moment of my precious life with people who don't deserve my time. And that's not to be arrogant. It's just to be respectful of myself. And that's the way I look at it. And I think everybody should do that. And when you do that, it does allow you to rise. Because if you let go of something that's not serving you well, it allows you to rise. It's just like, think of an air balloon. It's got those sandbags around it, right? Which keeps it on the ground so that you can get in. But when you want to take off, you need to let go of those sandbags. You need to cut those things free so that you can rise. And I think that's my way of saying, when you feel drained, this is how you can choose to rise. What sandbags do you need to cut away to allow you to rise, or repurpose it so that you've got reignited passion and purpose for the thing you're doing. Either way, analyze it, see what it gives you, see what it doesn't give you, add it up, and think of the most graceful way to deal with it from then onwards. That would be my advice.
Yeah, I agree with you, Grant. Sometimes you have to let go of some stuff, some things, um, and really think about things whether they are worth doing or not. So I think that's really, really important. I said to my friend yesterday, we're doing something, but then I was like, I feel like there's just this block, and so we started doing something like manifesting and stuff. Um, so I was like, yeah, we need to do something and let go of some stuff. But when I actually acknowledge and come to acknowledge that, I think there's this thing that is not right. And you start looking at things like there's some things that I've seen where there was a block and things start getting unblocked and stuff. Since I've decided to point them out and call them out, to say that place it has a block. So it's either things change if they don't change. And where I did not expect things to change, and then things start changing. So what you need to do is really get rid of things that you know that they don't save you anymore. Like Grant said, not because it's bad or anything. It's just choosing joy, because joy comes in our lives in a different way. So it's important to choose just that one thing that it just gives you joy into your life. Not because it's productive, but because it's just joy. It could be a song you love. It could be a childhood snack or food or watching videos. It could be um it could be anything. So all these things that gives you pleasure, it gives you healing. So you allow to feel good. Some people don't allow them to feel good even when life is hard. For me, when life is hard, I actually refuse to fall. And that's why, like every guy that I date, they don't understand. I can't go with pain and fall down with pain. I can't. I refuse, honestly, I refuse to fall down with pain. And they're like, Nomsa, you need to get real. I'm like, no, I cannot go down. Because what happens with me is if I get really, really big problems, if I go down, I don't know how to go down easy because I always rise. I stay up, and I will speak to God, I will speak to the universe, say, Gary, this is my situation. But sometimes the people, they'll be like, Nomsa, you need, I'm like, getting really is me refusing to fall. Because if I fall, who is going to lift me up? I'm going to have to go to the doctors and wasting time. I can't do that. All I have to do, acknowledge that things are hard. Is there anything I can do to change? There's one thing that I can do to change. Number one, manifest for my helpers to come to and connect with me. Number two, try to find a solution. A solution, it means I have to stand still and think, get clarity of what is going on. But by going into depression and anxiety, is not going to help me with anything. So
True.
I refuse to do that. And sometimes people don't understand it, but it works, guys. It works. I refuse to go with the stress. I like Amanda when she said she plans, she does all her cuts. It's not easy to plan things. I'm sure, Amanda, you can tell us, you are a teacher. I like teachers. Teachers are good at planning. Honestly, they're good. My dad used to get me up at the age of 9. He'll get me up at 4 a.m. And they'll be like, we need to have a chat. And I'm like, what are we chatting about? And then he'll be like, family. Tell me all your worries and your problems. I'm like, at 4 a.m.? It's like, yeah, tell me all your worries. Because I'm gonna be going to school teaching people. I'm not gonna have time so tell me. But in the end, I got used to it. So we wake up and have a chat, planning family first, to have a chat, and then I go back to sleep at 6 or 5, because 1 hour, that's enough chatting to your father. So Amanda, you can tell us, oh, it's 2 o'clock. Before you go, how do you find that courage to actually, yeah, attend Gossip Talk shows, you've got your daughter, find that strength, you're a teacher, it's too much demanding, you are a writer. How do you find all these to stay up? Because there are times where things get hard.
Yeah, well, sometimes I take breaks.
I'll do it. Yeah.
And I definitely think that like when I am drained, one of the things is like knowing to take a break to just rest. And then also then being like, okay, I've had enough rest time. I need to get refocused again. And I think sometimes the like startup of school is like a really good time to get refocused again because you're back into that routine. Parents are back into the routine. Everybody's back from holidays. Even if you don't have kids in the school system, most people have gone on some sort of holiday over the summer. And so once September hits, it's that like, it's almost like a new year, like it's a fresh start. Everything is like, okay, I can get back into routine. I can get back into making sure I'm doing those things that are going to be fulfilling for me, that are helping me reach my other goals as well as my teaching goals. And so I think it's sometimes just like you need that like downtimes in order to reset so that you can refocus and then make sure that you're spending your time doing those things that are really helping you feel inspired and passionate and that make you feel fulfilled, because we want to have things in our life that are fulfilling. That's one of the things about having a balanced life is like, what is it in your life that is really truly fulfilling for you? And what actually are you doing each and every day or each and every week that like makes you feel inspired and makes you feel the most alive? And I think that sometimes we forget to be like, what is it that makes me feel most alive? Because if I'm not feeling most alive, I'm probably feeling pretty drained. But if I can get back to doing more of those things that make me feel most alive, then that drainedness is going to go away. And I even see that in kids, like if my daughter's like moping around and like, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. And then her friend calls and she's like, do you want to go to the pool, or do you want to go to the lake, or do you want to go to the mall? She's like up and out the door within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, woo, I'm inspired by my friend. I've been moping around the house all day and being like this lazy bum, but the minute that I have that inspiration from a friend, like I'm gone and in less than 5 minutes, right? And so sometimes it's like you just need to find that like inspiration that drives you. And I think so many of us have lost that along the
Yeah.
way because we're just like, I need to work in order to survive. And you've lost those things that inspired you maybe as a child, and maybe you need to find your way back to them. So
And I think you're right. It's that passion, it's that purpose, isn't it? When you find your passion, your purpose, like, why am I doing this? If you find it, you know, I'm doing it for this reason, I'm doing it for that reason, that reinvigorates it, re-inspires you, and it helps to get you back in the game. Your inspiration rises and your fatigue reduces. I think that's the equation. Nomsa, what are you thinking? What's your final thoughts on this?
Final thoughts of this, for me, what I leave you guys with is celebrate your small wins, and what else can I give them? Let yourself earn without earning. And also know that being drained doesn't mean that you're broken. It means you've been carrying a lot, and you just need to take that good care of yourself. I was talking to my pastor yesterday, and she was saying, I know your daughter, she's just gone to uni, and you're missing. I was like, what now? I was like, no, I'm not missing her. I am celebrating. I talk to her every day on the phone. I was like, how can I be depressed when my daughter goes to uni? Do you have any? I'm saying to myself, do you have any idea the energy that I had to put to these children for these children? And now she's gone. I'm like, hallelujah, Jesus. Financially, I'm there, I know that, but I know that it's just another burden that is left on my shoulder. I was like, I'm celebrating. And my other one, my youngest one, she's walking now to school, and I'm no longer dropping her, picking her up. I'm like, do you know how much that joy is? I'm always on in London, dropping off, acting and everything. I'm like, it's a joy that I have when my kids are independent. So I think you just allow yourself to, but some parents you may find that they find it hard when kids go to uni, but not this one. Amanda, you know what I mean though, because you're constantly, as a parent, you're dropping off, you're picking off. You are like, do this, do that. But now the worry for me is I give it to God and say, God, financially I'll provide. But I trust my daughter she'll be well. But I can't be worrying. That's the good joy of doing these things and working hard and creating, implementing, and yeah. So for me, what I'll say is just enjoy life. Life is there to be enjoyed. Dance like Nomsa dance. Dance your pain away. That's the only thing I can say. Grant, do you want to tell our audience what they need to do?
I think, Nomsa, thank you. And what it is, I think really is the same thing. When you feel drained, stand back from the canvas. Ask yourself, why am I feeling drained? Is it emotional? Is it physical? What is it about this thing that's draining me? What can I do to reduce that? Lower the workload, spread it out, delegate, organize, get things ready sooner. Once you've done that, really look at this thing. If this problem persists after that, and it's really pulling you down, and you really have done those other things, really have upped your skill, outsourced, delegated, taken a look at if it's something you can defer. If it's something you personally got to deal with after that, and it's still draining you, you know what? You're going to have to do an analysis of the thing and see, is it worth continuing to do this thing? Very simple. And like I said, use your SWOT analysis, SWOT, Strengths. What's the strengths of remaining doing this thing? W, weaknesses. What are the weaknesses? What are the weaknesses to this thing? O, opportunity. What is the opportunity if I carry on doing it? That can reinvigorate you once you remind yourself of the opportunity. Is it worth doing it? Once you're reinvigorated, your fatigue goes down, your energy goes high. But if you look at there is no real opportunity, what is the threat? What is the threat to me of doing this? What if I carry on doing this? What is the biggest problem that can happen? Once you get that, you normally get a good sense of clarity, and from that, you can make an informed decision. And that in itself will help you to rise. Because if you do need to let go of something, like the airship, you cut those sandbags off and you will rise. But sometimes it's time to stay where you are. It's good. It works well. If it's a short bit of pain or a short little bit of hard work for a few weeks, yeah, I get that. Or someone might say, I'm working hard at this thing just until I finish that college course. Oh, it's just to the end of the year. Just get to the end of the year and okay, pace yourself, give yourself all the love, energy, and sleep you can to get through that time. But make sure you reward yourself after. That way you have something to look forward to. That will give you dopamine and that will help you to keep going and to rise. So various options, and you see which one is right for you on your unique situation. So for me, that's what you could do when you feel drained and you choose to rise. Because either way, if you do that, you will rise. Either way. That's what I feel like saying. Back to you, Nobson.
And please, guys, if you're on YouTube, bye, Amanda. Thank you so much for today. We appreciate you so much. We're leaving as well anyway. So if you are watching us from YouTube, guys, please do subscribe to our channel. If you are watching on social media, Facebook, we have two groups, Ngozi Talk Shows and Unique Billionaire Mindset. Please join those groups and be part of the family. And please do go to the website to sign up if you're looking for love. Please do sign up. And if you're looking to find your own voice, lead from within, finding your own voice, it could be in business, any area of your life where we have different coaches, please do sign up. God bless and live with grace, guys. I shall see you soon.